All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College Application and Website Development, or AWD1100, Programming Fundamentals with C# course, I've been doing a series of video presentations based on the PowerPoint slides for the textbook for our class, and that being Murock's C# 7th edition that you see on your screen. I am currently in Chapter 19 of 22. And again, my goal was to come in and create or replicate what you see on this particular slide right there, all right, which was set up by Murock as an SQL server database to reset it up as a MySQL or MySQL database. I've set everything up, but the problem is what I found out after doing a little bit of research is, where are we here? It'll take me a minute to find it, but give me a second and we will find it. All right, I came in and I tried to download the MySQL connector, all right, and it wouldn't work. It said it didn't have any of the requisite components or whatever. So I ended up, rather than, when I Googled, I eventually ended up at Stack Overflow, where cannot install MySQL 8 with only Visual Studio 22 on Windows. So it came back and the guy said some junk, and then somebody else came back and said, MySQL is not yet fully supported in here. So I strongly recommend that you stick with this for the time being. And I said, okay. Then, can I run two versions of Visual Studio at the same time? I checked that out. So they said, for example, 2017 and 2019. Well, for me, it would be 2022 and 2019. But it says you can't install both. So what I did was I went out next and kind of Googled, all right, how do I find older versions of Visual Studio? So I found that out, and it's under older downloads. So it says, have you tried the newest? Yes, but I went down, found 2019, chose the download, and in there I will show you this in class if we get to this point and exactly what I did. Took a little while, but in here I ended up choosing the Visual Studio Community 2019 to download. When I did, it asked me what features and functionality I wanted to include, and I put that in there. I kept it very simplistic. In that, I only chose, I think it was two things. One of them that I chose was the ability to do C# for like Windows Forms app, and the other one was a thing for being able to work with databases. So I did that. All right. And then I came back in here. See, I've got a bunch of other junk open. And now I'm going to go back, and I have come in here, and I have now Visual Studio 2019. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the entire MySQL Connect that I created earlier. So, in my Chapter 19 programs, I'm just going to grab this whole thing and delete it. Now, I'm not sure, because sometimes it still keeps some system files around, but we'll see. So I'm going to come in here. I'm in 2019, which, as you can see, looks similar, all right, to what 2022 looks like, but it's 2019. I am going to create a new project. I am going to choose, in here, I want Windows Form, but I want to make sure I choose the one for the .NET framework, so there it is. Next, I am going to put it in MySQL Connect for both the project name and the solution name. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to find under my desktop, my Chapter 19 programs, and I'm going to select the folder. Now, if it comes up with any kind of error, it's because it thinks that internally that still exists on here, but let's see. And it did create it. So good. So now I'm going to jump back again. I'm not sure if this will work. All right. So jumping back into my document here, now as it says in here, if I go in and choose tools and connect to database, so let's do that. So if I come in and choose tools and connect to database, all right, and I look in here, I do not have listed amongst the things that are in here, I do not have listed MySQL. All right, so I'm going to cancel out of that. I'm going to take this and pin that. There we go. All right. And again, I'm just going to be following the steps that are in here. All right. It says there are numerous but no database options. So this is what I just saw. So as mentioned here, I need to go out and install both of these. Now, hopefully, I can go out and install it now because I'm using 2019. This explains what all those connectors and things are. I'm not going to worry about those. All right. So let's see. All right. I've still got them here, but I'm going to do them from here anyway. I'm going to do the newest. I'm going to remove all the ones that I had open before. So this is MySQL connector. And I do want the ADO.NET driver for, and I probably already have it, but that's okay. And I'm going to choose, go to download page, and I'm going to download what appears to be at least this is web community and this is installer community. I don't think I need web community. So I'm going to install this one, which unfortunately is the bigger one. And I'm going to see if this works now, trying to do this. Previously, when I tried to do it, since it's incompatible with Visual Studio 2022, and I tried to choose what I wanted to use for doing the install, it came back and it said I couldn't do anything, for lack of better words. Now that I've got 2019, I'm hoping that this is going to work. All right. All right, next. Now notice products to upgrade. All right, apply updates. I don't know if I really need that. I can do next. This is just a workbench. I can do that. But I'm hoping that when I get done with this, this is not working exactly the way I thought it would, but so the other one that I will want to try to come in here and add is the MySQL installer for Visual Studio. Now I'm going to wait on that until I get done with the one that I'm currently working on right here. MySQL Workbench is, for lack of better words, it's not PHPMyAdmin, but it's a tool that you can use in a similar way to PHPMyAdmin. And there is a similar one in for SQL Server that I believe is called like Query Analyzer or something like that. All right. Hoping this kind of kicks into gear quickly. Because watching me install software has got to be kind of boring. So right, it is at just about 70% now. So probably I should have just held off on that. I'm going to look at everything that's in here, and then I'm going to go and bring up the other one and try to do the install on there. All right, so it says that it's complete. So next. All right, so it says I'm finished. So I've gone through everything that there is in this one. Looks like that's done with the installer. All right, so I'm going to close this and go here, go to the download page. Which one? I want to make sure I'm doing the right one here. So I have come in here. Let me try that again and done the driver, and this is the installer. So again, I'm going to go to the download page. Thought this was the one I had just done. Well, let's look. So that's the MySQL installer. Looking here for the AWD.NET driver. MySQL installer. MySQL installer. This is the one I want, the connector, I think. Okay. Now this is the one last time when I tried to come in here and basically set this up. Let you change the way features are installed. I want to install everything. Next. Well, we'll see if that worked. All set. All right. So after I've done all that, it says once it's done, restart. So let's restart Visual Studio. So I've already created this. So File, let's exit, and I will restart it. I will need to get an icon for that, which I don't have right now. So there's Visual Studio 2019. I want to open up what I've been working on, which is right there. I've done virtually nothing with this right now. All right. And I'm going to see if I can get this to work. And if I can't, I'll be done. And what I'm going to end up doing is just doing everything with SQL Server. All right. I found SQL Server problematic in the past, which is why I tried doing this. All right. Now go to the Solution Explorer, right mouse click and select Reference. We did this before. So go to the Solution Explorer, right mouse click, choose Add, and choose, maybe I did that wrong. Right click on the project to do that. Okay. Add reference. All right. I want to search in here for SQL. There's MySQL data, MySQL entity framework, and the system.data SQL. So what I'm looking for there is with those three, MySQL.data, MySQL.data.entity framework for EF6, and system.data.SQL XML. I'm just trying to follow the instructions that are in here. So I've done the MySQL data, the entity framework, and that. All right. So go back to here, click OK. All right. Now let us go back to the Server Explorer. So this is the Server Explorer. Right mouse click and choose Add New Connection. And the bad news is it is not showing in here. And I don't know what else to do. I need somebody with more hardware expertise than me to be able to tell me what I'm doing wrong here. Because that should be showing Microsoft with an MySQL in here option, and it's not. Let me look one last time in here, and I'm just going to put this one to rest. Connections. See, and I don't have that. And for the life of me now, to be honest with you, I don't know why. I'm going to try one last thing, and that is for the installer here. Connector for .NET. It's not letting me take it and put it over here. So available products. And when I try to move it over there, it won't let me do that. So it shows that as being here, but it's not allowing me to move it over to here, and I don't know why. Same thing with this, etc. It's just not letting me do it. What I want to do is move that over, and it will not let me do it. So it's telling me to select a product here. I'm trying to. But it's not letting me do anything. So I'm trying to download MySQL for Visual Studio. And notice what it says, MySQL installer. I think this is what I already have. I could be wrong. So I open when done. This is much harder than it's supposed to be, just so you know that. All right. Choose setup type. I'm just going to grab complete and tell it to install everything. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I'm sorry for wasting your time if you are watching this. We are 23 minutes in and I've done virtually nothing in here. So finish. I am going to one last time close this window, save, and restart Visual Studio again. So I'm going to bring up that project. I'm going to look and under the references to make sure that that stuff has been added. So right mouse click on the project, add reference. Let's just double check and make sure all those have been indeed added. Let's try MySQL. They have been. So I can just cancel out of there. And again, I'm going to right mouse click on data connections, choose refresh, right mouse click again, and choose add connections. Now let's see if it's there. Well, what do you know? There's MySQL database. Thank goodness. All right. So I've got that. It says click on continue. Well, I should choose that. Okay. And I should click continue. So let's see. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to choose MySQL database and click on continue. All right. Now, The server name, username, password, and database are to be filled in. Remember, this is the same as that of the database on your local host. All right. So they say I'll put in the server name localhost, a username of root, and a password. All right. Here we can use the lowercase test MB. I'm not even going to put in a password. So I'm going to come in here, and for the server name, I'm going to put in localhost. For the username, I'm going to put in root. Now, I'm not going to put in a password, but let's test the connection. It says that succeeded. It may need this because notice the OK is grayed out. So I'm going to put in root for that too. And we'll do a save my password. Still isn't showing this as being OK. So let's see. That is correct. Localhost root, and it wants the name of the database. Error, unable to retrieve the list of databases. Well, that's a problem, as you can guess. So let's look. We made the database test DB. Well, I made my database and I called it MMA Books. So I don't know if they manually put that in, but it should be showing someplace. So I'm going to see if I can manually type that in, but I don't think I can. MMA Books. Okay, I'm going to try to remove the password. I'm going to try this again. All right. Now it came up. That doesn't mean I've got anything here, though, just so you know. All right. Click on the test connection. I think I did that and it worked, but that's fine. It's already gone anyway. Yeah, go to the advanced. SSL mode, I didn't set any of that. Now we can see the local hosts in our data connections tables. All right, so I didn't see it. Customers in, oh, there they are. All right, so there's MMA Books. So let's right mouse click on here and choose retrieve data, and we'll see if we can get, there we've got data. Hot doggy. All right, so I can close that one. I can retrieve data. I'm just going to double check and make sure that everything is here. I'm just very happy right now. This has got only, I think, one record in it, right? Yep. All right, so it appears at least as though we have all of our data, which is fantastic. All right, so I should be able to continue on with this. All right, now we can see the local host, etc. Yeah, everything's there. That's cool. Right click on a table. You can see the options for trigger, etc. We'll choose the generate table script and the following will pop up. We don't have to do that because we've already created all of our stuff. All right, if we choose retrieve data, I already showed you that. Okay, all right. Actually making progress here. To test if the connection is made, let's go back to PHP My Admin and insert some data on the phone book table. All right. And then to connect, we can do it through this. To connect for a Windows application, we can do it through the following code. We shouldn't have to do any of this. I am just about finished. All right. But what I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do then as I go into the next chapter is anything that they're doing in here, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do now in MySQL. All right. Sorry this took so long. Sorry for saying I'm sorry all the time. Be back shortly.